Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is my esteemed pleasure to be sharing with you a summary of my research, which is entitled Building ICT Skills for Employability, Piloting a Virtual Training Model for the Caribbean School of Data. My name is Penelope DeFreitas, and I am proud to be representing the University of Guyana. My presentation will take on the following general outline. To set the groundwork for the rest of this presentation, I will share with you a background to my study by highlighting employment projections and the importance of ICT upskilling initiatives. Over the last 2 decades, technology has radically transformed societies. It is therefore not surprising that employment projections for the next decade indicate that 9 out of 10 jobs will require skills in ICT. In fact, it is already evident that leading job roles are primarily based in ICT. On the other hand, jobs that are more likely to be displaced as a result of automation include various office roles, such as clerical and secretarial positions. It is therefore increasingly important for individuals employed on the roles that stand the risk of becoming obsolete to fast-track their professional development through upskilling initiatives. Various governmental and non-governmental organizations around the world have been taking the lead in upskilling and reskilling initiatives. For instance, the government of Kenya, with financial support from the Rockefeller Foundation, implemented the Ajira Digital Project, which aims to bridge the gap between the skills demand and lack of job opportunities. Phase 1 of the project was focused on training 8,000 inexperienced online workers with basic soft skills and online work skills. In the Caribbean region, similar training initiatives are also being run. For example, the Caribbean School of Data has forged partnerships with organizations across the Caribbean to train 1,500 marginalized youth in the area of digital and data literacy. Caribbean School of Data's original training model was blended with face-to-face weekly check-in sessions and self-paced remote study. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, operations were shifted fully online. Caribbean School of Data is headquartered in Jamaica, and its mission is to develop comprehensive and sustainable digital or data literacy programs that will facilitate greater awareness, attitudes, competencies, and capacities to build a stronger data culture across the Caribbean. TSOD provides guidance and support to country partners, which takes on several forms, such as funding from grants acquired from organizations like Google, facilitator training, release of training modules, technical support, certification, and so on. CSOD also maintains and provides a learning portal, which is web-based and available to all registered students and country partners. The learning portal houses materials, activities, quizzes, and other kinds of materials. During the period that this study was conducted, the Level 1 program, which lasts for approximately 12 weeks, was the only training being offered and was used to test the fully virtual model. This program comprises 4 courses. The virtual training model comprises a number of critical components from managing the digital and data literacy training program that was piloted in Guyana. Firstly, the country partner is responsible for coordinating and executing the program in their specific territory. The country partner constitutes a team of staff who meet weekly to prepare well in advance of the check-in sessions with the participants. To further support the team, guest speakers from industry share their experiences at weekly check-in sessions. They serve as a source of inspiration and insights into the field of ICT. Instruction materials are made available via CSOD's learning portal. Materials are mostly used for self-paced study. but they're also referenced during the weekly sessions. Weekly check-in sessions last for approximately 2 to 3 hours and are conducted via platforms such as Zoom. Each session can accommodate approximately 20 to 30 participants. The sessions typically take on a range of formats to suit the particular topic that are assigned for the weekly discussion. Approaches such as Q&A, reflective exercises, and gamified approaches are repeated across every session to encourage engagement. Virtual rewards are employed to recognize student achievements and to celebrate milestones across the weeks. As an added incentive, rewards in the form of small monetary prizes and trophies are distributed at the end of the program. To accommodate participants who cannot attend the live sessions, recordings are also made available. In addition, the students are encouraged to pose follow-up questions to the facilitators and the assistants. Weekly feedback is collected to assist with monitoring and improving the program. These are collected via short surveys that are distributed to the students, facilitators, and assistants. The participants comprised 80 Guyanese students who were afforded scholarships. They were selected from a pool of applicants, which is largely based on their level of expertise. For example, gaps in ICT knowledge. All participants possessed basic digital literacy skills and had access to the internet and computing devices. 20 out of the 80 participants voluntarily completed a general evaluation survey. The instrument gathered qualitative and quantitative feedback on the participants' experiences throughout the program delivery. In particular, data was collected on the program's strengths and weaknesses, overall experience, and general rating questions. The survey was disseminated online via email and the student community groups. The data recorded by the facilitators and assistants via the weekly check-in surveys were also examined and compared against the participant feedback to note similarities, differences, and to understand and gauge the effectiveness of the practices employed during the training. I will now provide a summative analysis of the participants' responses on their 4 main themes which emerged from the data that was collected. The participants provided average ratings of over 4 for the practices that were utilized during the program. This signals that the students felt that the training practices employed were effective. Interestingly, the participants also awarded significantly positive ratings for breakout rooms. However, as a general observation, the facilitators noted that some participants were not fully engaged in the breakout rooms, primarily due to shyness. As a consequence of the low engagement, games and rewards were introduced as a form of motivation and to fuel engagement. Out of the 80 participants who initially started the program in Guyana, 15 students could not complete the training, mainly due to challenges balancing work and studies. For those students who stayed the course of the program, it was evident that they also experienced challenges. For instance, approximately 35% of the respondents indicated that they encountered internet and power issues, whereas 20% of the respondents experienced personal challenges such as illness, family emergencies, and challenges balancing studies and work and their social life. As such, to provide support to those who missed sessions, recordings were shared. A minority of the respondents reported challenges with the Caribbean School of Data platform. These issues included like login and accessing materials. Fortunately, these challenges were commonly resolved within a 24 to 48-hour window. The remaining respondents faced no challenges throughout the program. In terms of the overall experience, about 40% of the respondents found that all the topics covered in the program were interesting. However, 60% of them felt that topics such as the internet and the social media were least interesting. A noteworthy observation made by the facilitators indicated that some students were already familiar with the internet and social media, which explains why the interest level was low. All in all, overwhelming number of positive feedback were received from the participants. For instance, one individual stated that they had a wonderful experience working along with peers, lecturers, and the guest speakers. The participants provided highly positive ratings on their perceptions of the skills acquired during the program. They also felt confident about using their newfound skills and expressed interest in pursuing further studies in a computer-related field. I will now provide a summary of the participant recommendations for improving the virtual training model presented in this study. Some of the participants felt that the program could benefit from extended time, interactions, and course offerings. These findings are interpreted positively to mean that the students may wish to expand their knowledge in a computer-related field. Thus, follow-on programs will be channeled to the students. Participants also indicated that platform maintenance announcements should be posted ahead of time. The researcher is in agreement with the sharing of scheduled maintenance notices in advance to facilitate planning by the country partners and the students. Students also suggested that instructional materials be made available online and a shift from full virtual learning to partial face-to-face operations, especially for the weekly check-in sessions. Currently, the Caribbean School of Data platform requires internet access to view the materials. However, the possibility of making materials available offline may be favorably considered. In terms of face-to-face check-in sessions for future iterations of the program, this recommendation will be taken into account along with safety guidelines surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic. This study presented a virtual training model that was used to run Caribbean School of Data's Digital Foundations and Data Fundamentals program. The model comprised a number of key components. Overall, the model for delivering the program resulted in several positive and notable findings. Therefore, the components, as well as the lessons learned from its implementation, may be of value to entities interested in delivering or improving their virtual training program. For future work, it may be worthwhile running a follow-on evaluation to determine the impact of this training program on participants and their employers. Here are some of the main references that were featured in my presentation today. In closing, I'd like to express sincere appreciation to the conference committee for this wonderful opportunity, and also a special thank you to the viewers for listening to my presentation.